Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media. As you know, it's a Thursday today. We are having our guest all the way from Kisumu County, the town of Kisumu, and we just want to have a conversation about misunderstanding regarding the modeling and fashion industry in Kenya. Thank you so much, my brother. Let me give you this opportunity so you can introduce yourself to our viewers.
Oh yes, my name is Toney Cruz from Kisumu, Kisumu County, of course, Kenya country. Uh, I'm a fashionista. I'm so enthusiastic about fashion and, of course, modeling as a whole. Uh, I'm a coach, modeling coach. Of course, that is when it comes to catwalk and, of course, fashion runway. When it comes to commercial, and of course, I used to have an agency. It's Galaxy modeling agency, and of course, when things when things move, you realize that you come up with different brands. So I rebranded myself into a fashion event called Kisumu Fashion Weekend. I think you can actually see it in my T-shirt. This is one of the branded T-shirts that I have. So this is an indoor and, of course, a street fashion where we sometimes showcase uh, what we have on the street, and of course doing showcasing designers outfits, and of course uh, just handmade stuff from our local artists, and of course from our local gifted. We have so many things in Kisumu, and of course, so we're trying to showcase them on the street of Kisumu, in the slums. So at the same time, you're actually giving out. Uh, we go to the less fortunate in the society, and of course, we give out stuff that we collected from our friends, and of course able friends around. So our fashion is based on helping the society at the same time. We have, I think, if you go to our page Kisumu Fashion Weekend, you'll realize that we have a lot that we share. We have a lot that we do during the street fashion. That is when we're not hosting the indoor one.
Wow.
So we have different models, and of course, this is Kisumu Fashion Weekend is not only for the slimmer models. Like, I think a lot of people are so much into, like, when for you to be a model, you have to be very slim. For you to be a model, you have to be a very maybe built, or maybe you must be having a six pack or something.
Yeah,
Things like that. But of course, we are trying to drive away that notion away, and of course, we are bringing people. We are trying to appreciate everyone's nature. Like, when you see our page, you realize that we even have short people who are posting for the same photos, and of course, gracing the runways, and doing a very good job. So it's just a matter of just doing bringing these people together, like, not closing the curtains to any kind of person. Like, we are trying to bring everyone who is passionate about modeling. We are trying to break that that notion that for you to be a model, you have to be 6 tall, you have to be a little bit slim, you have to be putting on heels, and of course 6 inch, you have to be comfortable with that. So you realize that by the end of the day, there are different people who are actually putting on clothes, not just slim people, not just built people, with the six pack and of course the broadened chest. So
Mhm.
we are trying to allow everyone to see themselves in those runways and everything. So yeah, so that is what I do. I train models, and of course I coach them. I'm actually a counselor too. I talk to people depressed in the society, and
Mhm.
I work with an organization called Awino Love Foundation.
Mhm.
That Our director is called Judy Rachel. She's a very good woman. She's been doing great in the society. Trying to move around the country doing great things for the kids, for the less fortunate, and all that. So yeah,
So
that is all.
maybe
Yeah.
Okay, maybe one time you could connect me to the wonderful lady because she's doing amazing job in Kisumu. So we might also let the world know what our amazing lady is doing and tell how
Yes.
Kisumu people are. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you
true.
you spoke about how you had model agency and you decided to change to bring in another brand. What made you to move away from the modeling agency to the one now you're doing right now?
Yeah, personally, I will say that of course in Kisumu we have problems when it comes to uh, owning an agency. You realize that sometimes a lot of them are coming in,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of agencies that are coming. You realize that a model starts training today, and of course, wins he or she wins a crown, and then the next thing he's opening an agency.
Hmm.
So you realize that he has a very good hand of getting models.
Hmm.
And so with that, you realize that models will be flocking in that same agency because he has a very good social network when it comes to getting the models. And so by the end of the day, you realize that a lot of models will be maybe moving towards the same. They will always be talking about these other agencies, like, oh, that guy won't give you this. For me, a lot of people know me because I have this title. So by the end of the day, there are some there's this bad talk, and of course in the industry.
Hmm.
But you see, by the end of the day, your work will be seen through someone's. Uh,
Someone's, yes.
yes, so it's always good for us. We are having this situation because everyone wants to own an agency. That is one. The
Hmm.
second thing, uh, models want to learn. They want to be ground very fast. You realize that someone is in an agency, he or she doesn't want to take time training.
Hmm.
He wants to pay somewhere to get a crown, and then after getting that crown, he dumps you there with your agency. It's
Oh,
no longer part of you.
oh,
So
oh, okay, all right, go ahead.
yeah, so you realize that someone wants to take their time to train. They feel like they can actually pay the judges, and this has happened with our top judges that are coming from Nairobi, and of course from other countries. You realize that they come, they get the corruption part, they bribe, models bribe them, but then by the time they get crowned, they move away from your agency because they feel like you're no longer needed as a trainer.
A
So they
trainer.
feel like you're not good enough. So another thing that we're having is some of us who we don't need to get crowns to train model. There are people who are built for that.
Hmm.
There are people like, for example, me. I was trained by there's this guy called Brian Whaley back
Hmm.
in the days around 2012 2013.
Hmm.
So he could train us how to train models.
Hmm.
Personally, I have no crown. Have no crown. Even when I was in college, I didn't contest for anything. But of course, Brian used to train us how to train models. So some of them will be like, "You don't have a crown. Why are you training us? You don't have a crown. You can't show us anything. What?" So you see, by the end of the day, our models they start arguing that way, it becomes so different because there's always a gift. You might realize that a teacher teaches,
Hmm.
but it doesn't become a professor or a president. It teaches a president, it teaches a president, but it doesn't turn to be a president himself. So some of us are gifted to train, but you
Right.
realize that the models judge us that no, you must have a crown
Hmm.
to train us. So you realize that he moves away from your agency because he has been brainwashed by others that no, this person doesn't have this kind of crowns. He doesn't have many crowns.
Hmm.
So that is another one. That I think that is the third one. And so maybe the fourth one we have uh, running an agency. It's never easy because you have to get shows. We
Hmm.
have limited shows around Kisumu, of course, the western part. you realize that for a model to that this still brings us to the corruption part. You realize that if you have if you don't have some money, and of course if you don't bribe the organizers or maybe the judges, you
Mhm.
realize that your model doesn't maybe go past whatever you wanted them to be. So
Mhm.
a model gets bored. You realize another contest maybe three events,
Mhm.
he or she doesn't win anything, and then now it comes back to you. Hey, well, how did you do this? Yeah, I mean, you're not training me well, So the
Mhm.
next thing, there will be like, I can't be part of this agency because we are not getting crowns, my friend.
Yeah.
But you see the whole thing, you realize that sometimes you train them so well when when you get a very well judged event,
Mhm.
fair, and everything, you realize that your models will always win.
Okay.
So corruption is still really bringing us to our knees. It became a nightmare when I was owning an agency. Actually, I had almost 100 models, something that I'm 100% sure no one will ever hit
Mhm.
at that point. I had a
Mhm.
lot of models by then.
Mhm.
But you see, my problem was like same. If you don't bribe your way, you don't actually get the crowns.
So let me ask you, because here we have talent versus the money.
Yes, yes,
There's a model who, from the look of things, in terms of she has talent, she has the brain. When she goes on stage, ask those questions that they do ask, you score
yes,
everything. But
yes,
there's also another model
yes,
who does not have the confidence, um,
yes,
cannot articulate the issues that is being asked, and even the confidence is not there. That
yes,
since she has money or he has money,
yes,
that he ended up getting the crown. So
yes.
as somebody that has been dealing with the agency and the models and all that, how do you make them have that hope that one day they will win? Because if they do not have money, even you as somebody who is running the agency, if you do not have that money to pay out so that you can your member of your crew can win, yeah,
But
how do you advise them?
I think for me, when I was running the agencies, I could have a pep talk with my models. It's something that I could do more than the
Mhm.
training part.
Mhm.
I used to tell them that before you go to an event, please ask me,
Mhm.
request. I want to go to this event, and this event. It's whoever is coming up with it. It's this person, this and that person. Of course, we know event organizers around Western parts and even in Nairobi and that. So we know corrupted event organizers, and we know excellent ones. So by the end of the day, a model wants to go and contest for any kind of crown around Kenya,
Mhm.
we'll always know. So we just ask you who is the event organizer, the so and so. Okay, fine. Let me talk to the so and so.
Mhm.
So I pick up my phone. Of course, I make a phone call. I want to do a follow up. My model wants to contest for this, or maybe come for auditions for this fashion event. Is it safe for her to do this and that? And then, of course, I do a background check for almost everyone who is part of that event.
Mhm.
By the end of the day, at least I will get one person who will tell me the truth,
The
just
truth.
an insider. So by the end of the day, I will talk to my models
Mhm.
that this event is okay. And if they don't win, most of the time we always put them to a pep talk where we talk to them concerning the events, and of course we tell them that this was your mistake. We always take a video because we always come with full support from
Mhm.
our agency. So if you mess us up, or if you know that the other competitor
Mhm.
or contestant was really good. So we'll always tell them that this is where your mistake came from, and this is where you're supposed to up your game on. This is how these things happen. So by the end of the day, he or she has everything on our side. If we feel like it was corrupted, we'll tell them that this was all a corruption event or corrupted event. So by the end of the day, we are okay. They will be no, everything is okay. I know that I actually beat her or maybe him, hands down. So everything is okay for me. So next time we are doing an event, let us do a very good background check. Things will be okay. So from that they will learn that of course. Uh, Before you go to any event, you have to do a background check. Who is organizing the event?
mm,
Who are the people there? Of course, we might not know the judges, but we might actually know how things will be. Before the event, we will know, because after maybe a setup, the first introduction, we always have introduction. We have creativity, we have dinner. So with the introduction, we will always know who are the judges.
mm,
So you realize that a model comes to the backstage and tells you that, Ish, I've seen this judge so and so. This is a corrupted judge. So by the end of the day, they lose hope.
uh,
So at least you get to tell the event organizer,
mm,
can we just try,
mm.
be truthful? Like, just don't do anything that will demoralize these
So,
models.
yeah,
Yeah. So as a CEO of an agency, I
mm,
could have a very very good talk with the event organizer. So I'll pull my model even in the midst of
mm,
contest. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, the model, one thing with the model industry sometimes is misunderstood based on our cultural beliefs, especially like the African culture.
Yes.
There are some perspective whereby people took like people view the modeling like maybe these are people who do not respect our society called cultural and norms.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with such like negative comment in the modeling industry, especially for even a gentleman who is a model and even a young lady who is pursuing the model? How are you dealing with that comments in the setup of the cultural view?
Oh yeah. Modeling has been regarded as one uh, for you to when you stay somewhere, like of course in the midst of here I'm a model. The next thing, you are a prostitute,
Yes.
or maybe you are a sex tool, or maybe you are maybe gay. Yeah, I always hear people say that, man, you are always gays and you're always part of LGBTQ, which is I really don't want to get into that. Of course, they have their own stuff, but again, being that we get that a lot. I
Mhm,
think personally I've gone through that the same. I think I've been told a lot of stuff, concerning, my when someone will tell you that you're gay. Of course, someone will tell you that you are maybe a sex tool or something.
mhm,
But you see, one thing that the reason why we've been doing a street fashion whereby we showcase what we have is the same. You
mhm,
realize that sometimes we go to the street and then someone, the border people, or maybe the matatu people, or maybe mama mboga, or maybe like people who are just around will say that,
mhm,
hey, we know these kids, we know them. Hawa ni malaya, but you see, what we do, we dress up for the occasion. Of course, we try to come up with the stuff that we give out to the society. Sometimes we go to the street, we go to the slums, we talk to them, we do street fashion. When we do street fashion, we try to talk to, you know, that kind of support system. These are people that knows us. These are our parents. These are people that brought us up. So we go to Mama Mboga. We tell them that we are models, and from Kisumu Fashion Weekend, from this agency, this is what we do. This is how we do our stuff. Sometimes, most of when we're going to do an event, we always walk around. So when we walk around, maybe a day to the event, we try to educate the society about modeling, about whatever we do, about our theme for the event. Like, for example, we have Winnie Wenga doing a lesson wine. So the
yes.
model will be doing a little bit, like, of course, for the fashion part of it.
Mhm,
So you realize that we go outside, we talk to the mama bogas, we talk to the border borders, we talk to people on the ground. So when we talk to these people on the ground, we get to explain to them into detail that we are no longer the prostitutes that they used to know. We are models with the reason. We
mhm,
do these things with the reason. Of course, we give out to the society. Sometimes before you, nowadays in Kisumu, before you do an event, you have to go to the slum. You have to give out the goodies. You have to find a way of getting at least the blankets. Like right now, it's a raining season. You have to get the warm, warm outfits. So by the end of the day, we get to talk to people on the ground to tell them the notion that the modeling entirety is it's a sham, or maybe it's just some sort of a leeway to be a prostitute, or maybe to get men from all. So we are really trying to bring this whole notion to its knees, because by the end of the day, we know what we do. We do fashion, of course. We showcase the handmade, the outfits. We showcase what we have, the beauty when it comes to beauty contest.
Mhm.
So things are really changing. It's so dynamic. It's something that is not like the initially, like those old age. So things are
Before,
really, yeah.
okay, thank you. Before I ask you a question, there's somebody called Amositos Idinade. Do you know that
Yeah.
guy?
Amos. No, oh no, I don't know this guy. Wonyamalo. I don't know.
Wonyamwalo.
Wonyamwalo. Yes. I'm
You
not
know
so sure.
him, right?
I don't know. I think I have a lot of fans, so I'm not so sure. I'm not
Uh,
like, but this name is very familiar. So yeah.
that's all the way from New Jersey. He's coming from New Jersey from US. So
Oh.
so you have friends abroad. There's also keep up the good job. That is Roslyn Nyasiaya. Is also there
Oh.
with you. We have also somebody enjoying the discussion. We have also locked on the show. Let me ask you again. When you go to the street and giving all this as a form of awareness, do you also share with our parents or the people at the ground level the successful stories of those who have been models and have made it in life and changed the life of their family members, so that they should know that this is not as it is portrayed, you know?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Successful stories like, oh, we have somebody like, I know of a model long before he was called Ajuma. Ajuma had a
Yeah,
brand
yeah.
whereby like she usually had a bald head, a very tall dark lady, and she has
Yes.
successful stories. Do you have like such like stories that you share when you give out these things and let them know that this is coming from the agencies that you people believe so negatively about?
Oh yeah, sure. I've really appreciated our county government for embracing the modeling, the fashion industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've really had a very, very good, able governor that has really embraced the fashion industry. That is Governor Peter Nyong'o.
Prof.
Prof is a very good guy. When it comes to fashion, oh, I tell you, this guy is very good. So
Uh,
Prof has really been doing great with that. So embracing the same. We had Miss Tourism, of course. He actually attended a lot of events, fashion events.
mhm.
That has really motivated us, because sometimes you go to the county, and then when you just speak of fashion, they will be like, oh, I mean, that is a very good idea. So let us come. I mean, it has always been so good, and it's so easy to access them when it comes to modeling part. So with that, parents feel like there's some sort of importance in the society when it comes to that. When they realize that the government is throwing their weight on the fashion industry, and of course trying to support us. And of course, when we have problems when it comes to event organizers not paying the models, you will
Mhm.
hear that the county government talks about it. Yes, you're supposed to be paying them. This is like a job. It's becoming a job.
Mhm.
Uh, you might actually say that it's a part-time one, but of course, the county government is really trying to bring it. We had Miss Tourism, Mr. Miss Tourism, uh, sometimes back, and of course we did like each and every uh, areas when it comes to, of course, Kisumu is subdivided into almost like six parts. So we had we did like of course auditions in the six part, and then of course we did an overall one. So and in each of those, of course, our governor was walking by, of course, doing looking at how.
Ground checks.
Yes. So I mean, it was the ground check was really good, and I felt like he's really taking this serious. And you see, when we are doing into those specific areas like Moroni, we are doing like a hero. When we
Uh-huh.
are doing the setup, those hidden setup, you realize that before the event starts, the parents, of course, the parents and of course the area chief are organized and of course talked to, and of course the parents are brought on board and they talk to the parents. I realized that the last time I checked, there's a certain woman who was like, I don't want my child to contest on such things.
Mm-hmm.
Mimi sitaki malaya, sitaki watoto mtoto wangu aingizwe kwa nini ya umalaya. And you see, it was very funny because I told the parent that no, that is not what we do. That is
Uh-huh.
not what we do. Exactly, that is not what we do. And you see that that conversation was sparked into to a point where a parent was like, oh, so I never knew that this is what happens. But of course, we were brought up knowing that models are prostitutes. So I was like, no, this one is not. So when we did an event, and of course there was a winner getting bagging up some, of course, some money and some gifts and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and the winner having projects, we go back again to the society and tell them that this was Miss Tourism, this is Mr. Tourism, this is what they do, this is the projects. They go to schools, they did different schools in the the hidden setup. So they plant trees. They actually bring the goodies to the near the less fortunate in the street. And when there's some maybe some flood, we right now it's a rainy season, so the flood, you will realize that Miss Tourism is there. Miss Kisumu is always around. We have you realize that most of the people who always come for such kind of activities are people who in the industry or fashion industry, because they always receive the same news, and they always want to tell the our parents that modeling is always about helping, doing projects, coming up with the good things that are helping the society. So that is the notion that of course we are trying to trench in the setup, our this generation setup. So I think for our people, we are really trying to make things move the right way.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's also some challenge that has always been on this. Maybe that's maybe where our parents are deriving this notion that maybe the modeling industry and the fashion is not as good at as it appears, because
Yeah.
there's stories that usually comes of sexual harassment, especially for both male contestants and the female. Like they're being harassed somewhere, or maybe for you to contest, there's a way in which you have to pay it in kind. Such like things they usually comes. How do you deal with that when such issues arises, or how can a model, when you are going to participate or to contest, then such like issues arise? Would you continue, or you just decide now, no, I'm not going to contest?
Oh yeah, we've had such cases. First, when it comes to payment. Second, when it comes to assaults. Third, when it comes to anything that might actually put a model into a uncomfortable, place. Of course, this has happened. We have uh, when it comes to payment, we have Pay Models Kenya.
Mhm.
Paying models Kenya is the worst thing that as an event organizer, if you find yourself in such a discussion, you are a disgrace. You will never actually hold any event in Kenya again.
Mhm.
It's a point. It's a group that you might not really want to be part of. We have Pay Models Kenya. I remember, I don't want to call the designer, but I remember there's a time that we did an event in Kisumu way back, right around 2017.
Mhm.
And then this designer who came, and of course, Winnie was part of it. Actually, Winnie Wenger was part of it. She was part of
The
the
event
models.
organizer.
No, no, no. He was part of the models. We
Okay.
had we had Nivea Debra. We have, of course, Winnie Wenger. We had a lot of big wigs in the fashion industry, of Kisumu, of course.
Mhm.
And this guy decided to we showcased his suits, and then this guy decided to disappear. And then in a very funny way, I used to be a noisemaker. As
Oh.
I typed a very small, actually, it was just a sentence,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went off. I just put off my data, or I put off my data, and then I went and sleep. And then I woke up in the middle of the night, and I opened my data, and things were not as the same. There
And,
was a lot of every model in this country was there.
yeah.
People were talking about it. Everyone was talking about it, and their comments were like moving 2,000 ahead. It
Um,
was something that actually the designer had to come down here and talk to us, paid us, in fact, overpaid us.
yes.
So you see, from
Yeah.
there, it really it became a nightmare to anyone who will actually want to do the same. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, you realize that models are used and not paid, and then you're not going to tell. Actually, the approach, you might not actually know the approach, but we have Pay Models Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually on Facebook, I think on Instagram too. Pay Models Kenya. You type anything there that has maybe happened to you, you get it. And now, again, we have Kenya Models Foundation. Kenya Models Foundation. I think I'm in one of their groups. We formed earlier. We formed Kisumu Models Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Any assaults, if you're not paid, if you feel like there's something that is happening, or maybe corruption that is going on, we
Mm-hmm.
have Kisumu Models Foundation, where we have people who are actually heading the group.
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, they are always first hand. They get the first hand information. When they get the information, we get to discuss, and then of course we have a group of people. We have Kish Roberts. We have Winnie Wenger. Of course, I'm
Okay.
always there around. We have people who are running actually the fashion industry. So when there's a problem, we always have to sit down. We discuss about the problem. We approach the whoever was handling the event, or maybe the brand,
Mm-hmm.
and so from there we actually get the answers. We get the answers. We get the replies. If you have to be paid, you have to be paid. If you are assaulted, we get to realize the fan, or maybe whoever assaulted you, or maybe did something crazy that you feel like you're so uncomfortable with. We will always find we always find a way
Mm-hmm.
to keep things put.
Oh,
So the county government, and of course the officials, maybe the police and all that, we've made a contract with them. Of course, the county, there's this the regional commander. He's a
yeah.
very good friend. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so if there's anything, we'll always report, and he'll always come down,
Mm-hmm.
uh, help us. So I think in Kisumu we haven't heard of any such, because we always handle it with a lot of care.
Ah, okay.
Any fan or anyone get into that situation, know
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to be supported 100% fully.
Okay,
Yes,
that's good to support the Kisumu. And one thing that people do not know about Prof, Prof knows how to sing when it comes to entertainment. So that's why I think is so much when you bring things to do with entertainment and this one. That's why Prof is so much into it because like there was a time I saw he was singing the song of George Ramogi very well. Yeah, so that's why I
yes.
think why the prof is supporting you. So do you think like as before we wind out, because this might be my last question, do you think like the models in Kisumu, even you yourself, you've had like fair accessibility to equal earning opportunities like jobs, promotions, whereby even one of you is being put on the front page of a magazine? Do you think like Kisumu models have had that fair accessibility of opportunities?
Oh yeah, I think the few that have enjoyed that ride, I think they have set the pace.
Mhm.
They have made us believe that we can actually reach at that point. We've had plus size, of course, on the magazines. We've had, of course, we went on the magazine. I think for her, she's a role model to a lot of models around.
Mhm.
She's really done great, and she's really still doing great things. We appreciate her for that, and of course, in Kisumu, I think I will say that we lack social network when it comes to, of course. when it comes to the people who can actually highlight our stories, and of course, things like that.
Mhm.
I think we don't get fair, being put on such magazines and of course aired out when it comes to TV shows and all that. You realize that right now we have scam journalists. You realize that you talk to someone and then they want to they put a very heavy fee on you. So they were like, I want you to pay me this much, and then you see sometimes you are struggling model, and then you're really doing a very very good thing, but you see someone tells you that, yeah, how much? There's not hakuna kitu free. So
Um,
you're like, sasa, hey, I'm really doing a good job, and of course I'm really I really want to take it to another level. But you see, I don't have I don't have the enough capabilities to do one, two, three things. The other day I was doing Kisumu Fashion Weekend. Actually, uh, happened around June,
yeah.
and I actually go to access some of the radio stations and of course the TV stations.
Mhm.
And then it was so funny. There are some that will always come because Kisumu Fashion Weekend is growing. So some of them will always want to do them for free, but some will always want to charge you. So when they charge you, which is right to, you have to pay. But
Mhm.
some of them will want to overcharge you. So
Mhm.
like I mean, you sometimes you even lose hope going to them. So you realize that a model is really doing a good thing, but they can't keep that pace. Like they don't have that money, they don't have that those
Uh,
funds
the,
to
the,
do to be highlighted in such magazines and of course the front pages like others. Now another thing is Kisumu. We are having Kisumu, and I just want to say talk about Kisumu because I think I've really operated a lot around the western part. So Kisumu, we are having most of the time models are moving away from Kisumu to a lot of models are really moving away from Kisumu to Nairobi because there was a limited access to, of course, the media and of course the support from the county government. But I think right now we are really getting a lot of support from the county government. So the of course the tourism part, of course the people who are really pushing the fashion industry right now. I think you don't have to move to Nairobi
yeah.
to be known as a model. Right now, you can just sit back in Kisumu. You can just do your one, two, three walks. You can do the commercial modeling. We have hotels in a lot of hotels in Kisumu. We have a lot of course, eateries. We have a lot of businesses that a model can actually do so well with. So I think right now Kisumu is growing. The western part is growing, the Kakamega part, but Kisumu actually is the host of. When it comes to fashion, I think I will tell you that we are good. We are even sometimes models moves from Kisumu to Nairobi. You realize that they shine more than ever. You
Uh,
realize someone like Nivia Debra. You realize someone like Winnie. Of course, Winnie has been in Kisumu, but you realize that her name is all over everywhere.
uh,
So I think
uh,
that really the Kisumu is a good one when it comes to modeling. When it comes to fashion, I think we are really doing great. And when it comes to competition, no one can actually compete us. It's just that we are trying to bring a lot of events so that models get used,
mm.
get paid, get to exercise, of course, whatever fashion ideas that they have. So I think it's really becoming a hotspot for fashion.
Okay, there's a question here for you. Not a question, but an inquiry. How do you go about if someone would like to be part of your team?
Oh yeah, I mean, personally, I don't run an agency right now, but I think if you want to be part of Kisumu Fashion Weekend, or maybe right now I train. Actually, I do private training. Like today, I was doing a training with some plus size models.
Mm,
They're actually from around Maseno, so they came around, and then of course we were doing some training.
mm,
So just because I don't have an agency right now, I'm running a private session with the models. So we give you the pep talk, and of course we do the work. Uh, so the coaching, I'm actually still doing the coaching. So I don't know, maybe Brother Benson will share the contact, and then maybe you'll get to, or maybe you can text the Kisumu Fashion Weekend. I think on my T-shirt right here, you can
Yeah,
text.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah. You'll actually get my contacts there.
there's somebody saying on Farida Salim really helped them. Congratulations to Ebo CEC. Who is on Farida?
She's a tourism CC, Kisumu County. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, yes,
So
Minister for.
she's doing
Yeah,
a good job. She's
yeah.
doing a good job.
She's really doing a good job. She's really embracing the fashion industry fraternity. I mean, she attends the events, and of course, always having to congratulate us when we do good.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everything. I mean, she's so supportive when it comes to our events and all that.
Okay.
So when
That
we
is.
need help, of course, she's always there to give us. Yeah.
Thank you so much for her, because if we find a leader that is making impact, especially in our society, that's good to know, and congratulations to her.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Maybe your last word to our viewers.
Oh yeah, I just want to maybe thank you for actually setting out this. I think we've been postponing it for some times now, but at least we get now time right now to do it. It's really good that this opportunity has come on our way.
Yeah,
Our event is next year, of course.
yeah,
We always do it around June.
yeah.
We've grown actually. This is going to be our third edition. We've really grown. Actually, it started from almost 70 heads.
Mhm,
Of course, people could come like 70 people, and of course, the second one was a blast.
mhm,
So we are looking forward to have the third one, which is going to be so good. And I think the reason why people are going to love this is because we are having not just models, we are having different different models who are coming on board,
okay.
uh, because we are trying to appreciate everyone to their
Okay.
nature. You
Mhm,
realize that this time you're even going to be to have people with disability
mhm,
showcasing this time on our event. Actually, we are going to hold it around next year June.
mhm.
So I want to thank, of course, people who have been watching whatever we've been doing, because uh, this is always a very lively kind of conversation, and of course, this is a very important conversation too, because people will always want to to know about the models,
Mhm,
of course, the notion, the nature that has been kept,
mhm.
of course, the session that they've been taking, of course, how you can get into the modeling industry. How do you know? Right now, we have a lot of scam trainers. We
Yep.
have a lot. You might not actually know what is going on in our industry, but we are having difficulties. Getting to know who is who and who is who. Sometimes you go to someone who has trained for maybe 1 week, because they want money. They tell you that give me 25,000, maybe 25,000, or maybe 20,000. I'll train you. You'll be a good model. But this is someone who has trained, who has been who has been training almost just 1 week, and
One.
then now they just want to, they will actually want to con you because they need money.
Mm.
People are looking for money everywhere. So by the end
Yeah.
of the day, you realize that everything was a scam, and it becomes so hard for you to walk away from it. Sometimes you feel like you're depressed. Some of these people have run away from this industry
Mhm,
because of crowns,
mhm,
because of not getting crowned. They've gone to almost like 10 events. They haven't.
mhm.
When you don't win anything, you feel
Yeah.
like you are demoralized, and then of course depressed, and then leave out. You're like, this was not for me, so
Mm.
you walk away. So I would just want to tell models who are outside there, and people who are thinking of maybe who wants to get into this industry, that it's not a walk in the park. But
Yeah.
of course, you need to get the right people who can actually hold your hands to
Mhm,
eternity. These are people who are going to help you get to introduce you into the industry. People
mhm.
who are professionals. And in Kisumu, you can actually ask. Sometimes people go to Winnie's inbox and they're like, I need you to train me," and Winnie will always refer them to me because she doesn't train nowadays. So I'll always get a lot of messages in my inbox. I was referred by Winiwenga to you. I was referred because people know her. I think she has really made a good name. So people, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people know her around. So you'll realize that she will always refer a lot of those models to me. So I think for the models, just need to get the right people
The right
uh,
people.
to learn from, and then of course get to know, decide what you want to do. We have different types of modeling. Get
Mm-hmm.
to know if you want to do beauty pageant. Get to know that I'm going to be trained about beauty pageant. If you want to do commercial modeling, you get to know to do that. If you want to do any, just go through the modeling part, in the types, and of course when you get to that,
Mm-hmm.
you go through them, you learn, and of course when you're going to your trainer, get to tell your trainer, I specifically want to be trained about this. You see, most of these models wanakujaga, and then someone tells you that I want to be a model. I want to.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they always use this word. I want to be a modeler.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them which modeler, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Just be straight. Tell someone that I want to be, because before you hata ukienda shule, if you go to, you want to tackle another course, you tell the lecturer, or maybe you go to the office, you tell them that I want to do this course. Na
Yeah.
ni hivi, hivi na hivi. You just don't tell them that I want to do a course, and you're there. So you have to choose. You have to go to them. The reason why they con a lot of, most of these models is because they don't go straight to the point.
To the point.
You, they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
someone comes to you and then they want to be a model. So for
Mm-hmm.
you, who wants money, you tell them that, oh, you want to be a model.
Yeah.
I'll make you a model.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I realize, that the sex part comes. A
Yeah.
trainer will always sleep with a model.
Mm-hmm.
A trainer will always sleep with a model because a model doesn't know what they want.
What they
Then
want.
kuja to train kwa nyumba yangu. Kama I have a very big balcony, you can come, you can have training there, and then of course the next thing you are
Yeah.
having yourself, so the
Mm-hmm.
next thing you realize that when he girlfriend or trainer.
What trainer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we are really trying to educate our models. We always have I was forgetting this,
Okay.
we always have men, we call a talk. There's this we always have a certain every year before we do the event of Kisumu Fashion Weekend.
Uh-huh.
We always have a talk where we bring people who have retired, or
Yeah.
maybe people who have retired from industry. We call all the models around. I
Mm-hmm.
think the last time we did, we had almost like 150 models who came to Kisumu from
Mm-hmm.
all walks. Of course, some even came from Uganda. There are a lot of models in
Yeah.
Kisumu.
Okay. All right.
So we had a talk conversation concerning, of course, modeling and business. We had a talk concerning, of course, the kind of course, the discipline part.
Mm-hmm.
We, how you can handle the events, just a lot of things concerning the models, and of course, I think from there we saw a very very big change.
Yeah.
Things really started moving out so well, even with the event organizers. They were there. We had the trainers when it comes to different agencies and or maybe models management. It was a very good talk conversation that highlighted a lot of very dirty things that are going behind
Yeah.
with the industry. And for some event organizers, we talked to them. We told them that we know you, we know you're doing this and that. And
Yeah.
since sometimes here in Kisumu,
Uh-huh.
we become so tough. We talk to them. We tell them that we know that you're doing this and that, and you should stop it. So
Uh,
you see, someone will either walk away from Kisumu and then goes to Nairobi to con people from in Nairobi,
in
because
Nairobi.
yeah. So I think we've learned a lot when the models has really learned a lot with I think what we've discussed, and of course the talk that we've been having with them, and
Mm-hmm.
even in the industry that we are creating an industry whereby parents are going to let their kids come to the industry and of course showcase their capabilities, of course showcase yeah, designers outfits, and of course the handmade stuff that we have, showcase our hotels,
Mm-hmm.
our destinations in Kisumu,
Yeah.
like I think everything that we might actually need a model to showcase the commercial part of it. I
Okay.
think that is what we are right now looking forward to have, a good industry where models comes together. When there's a problem, we come together. Sometimes we are always depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, models, you realize that some of them are so depressed. Maybe some of them might not actually have a job,
A
but
job,
you
yeah.
see, yeah, sometimes when you're in these groups, you realize that a friend of yours will just tell you that I have this job. Can you come?
Yes.
So we are trying to have a one group. We have a one group where there are almost like
Mhm.
400 models or maybe
Oh,
500. We realize that. So when we have such groups, we get to talk about issues that are affecting our industry, and of course things that we are supposed to be working on, so that we embrace, and of course we move to the next level, so that maybe in the next generation
mhm.
parents will be like struggling. Of course they will be like, I want my child to be a model. I want this to be a career, a career thing where my people like Nasenya. These are people who are earning from modeling. These are
Yeah.
people who, when you go to Turkana, of course, you realize that she's really doing a very good projects in
Yeah,
Turkana,
she does.
and yeah, so you realize that with that, parents are really realizing that things are really changing the dynamics, and
Mhm.
of course how we are handling the industry. Things are there are different kind of observations that are really made in the industry. So there are people who are on the wheel, and of course they're really doing a good job, and I thank God that they're being highlighted on those magazines, and parents, was there,
Yeah,
they get to read them, and they get to realize that things are really changing, and it's no longer those times that a model will be linked with
yeah,
maybe a video, or over a naked video, or maybe what. So I think we are really getting a very different observation. I remember my uncle that at some point I told my uncle there are times that I used to do a full-time modeling job.
yeah,
So my uncle told me, I went home, and then my uncle told me that you've just become a prostitute, my friend. Modeling, what are you doing?
yeah,
But that is not what I do. So if you want to know what I do, go to my personal page, Tony
yeah.
Cruz, and
Okay.
of course you'll realize what I'm doing. So when he went to my page, and of course he realized that I no longer asked them for rent. I was living in town, and they were living in Ushago.
Uh,
So my uncle was like, what are you doing? What are you doing in town? Like, how are you surviving? I can
uh,
see you are doing well. So how are you surviving? I was like, I know. Of course, I'm doing. I'm a model. I go to shows. I judge events.
mhm,
The pictures. So when I share,
mhm.
actually that's changed a lot, because now he started telling me that when there's a show, he will always come to me when he
And
now.
see,
So he will always tell me that nimeona hii show, can you go? I think this can help you.
uh,
So I think that is the main reason why I was telling you that when we go for this street fashion, we get to have a face to face talk with the parents that are down there, and of course they get to understand. So by the end of the day, even when their kids want to go out for maybe these shows, they
mhm.
don't stop them from doing such.
Oh,
So yeah, and then of course as much as the parents might actually be afraid of maybe the discipline part of that, because
mm,
you realize that sometimes a model goes out, and then of course after the event they have the good times that turns to be a bad time.
mhm.
So you realize that things change to be not normal. So the parents are like, no, this is not what I wanted for my child. So we are trying to bring that, instill that discipline in the models mindset, and of course trying to bring the parents to embrace the modeling industry. Yeah,
Okay, Mr. Tony Cruz, thank you
yeah.
so much for taking your time to be with us. There is also one of our leaders that is coming upcoming in Kisumu is called Kennedy Sankara. Sankara is, maybe you've not met him. He's called Sankara. I don't know whether you've met him. He's also a very vocal leader in Kisumu, but he's also watching. And thank you, Mweshimiwa, for supporting us.
Oh yes.
I'm seeing Mary Belden. Thank you for that. There's so many people. Keep up the good job. Yes, so send our greetings to Hon Farida if you see her. Say that the public is very happy of what she's doing.
All right.
And I think after this, we are going to have a political show, maybe in the next 45 minutes. So you can also join us and listen to our leaders, what they're saying when it comes to politics. And
Oh yeah.
Mr. Tony, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us in this show. And may God
Oh, you,
bless.
oh, you're so welcome. Thank you.
You.